Hello, everybody out there watching on YouTube, and welcome to race number 29 of Season 6 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I'm Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you back to South Carolina Speedway as we're getting set for the Xfinity 400 presented by Marvel Studios' Spider-Man Far From Home, which came out in theaters yesterday, so this is the race dedicated to that movie. Now, before we take a look at the starting lineup, let's take a look at how the top 10 and the points look coming into the race today. So after our last race that we ran, which was Watkins Glen, Jessica Sheldon took the points lead back and leads by 1 point, exactly 1 point over Jake Baskinger. Third is Rob Evans. Fourth, Anthony McCrory. Fifth, Dylan Poteet. Sixth is Benjamin Miles. Seventh, Cole Deaver. Eighth, Caleb Kilburn. Ninth, Seth Cole. And then 10th, James McLeod. So the top 10 is separated by 84 points, almost 2 full races. But still plenty of time for some of those guys in the back half of the top 10 to try and make a stride to get this championship. Now, of course, with this racetrack, with South Carolina, the big thing you gotta keep an eye out for is 3-wide racing off of turn 4, because for some reason, whenever they're 3-wide off of turn 4, almost a guarantee wreck is going to occur. So we're hoping that perhaps with some adjustments done, we might be able to get through with some green flag runs. Because I really like this racetrack, however, I'd like to try to get that problem fixed. But with that being said, let's take a look at the starting lineup. Starting in the last row is Seth Cole and Benjamin Miles. Top 10, Kyle Matthews gets his first pole of the season. Starting next to him is Dylan Poteet. Row 2, James Qualls, Cole Deaver. Row 3, Cody Lamas, Zachary Fitzwater. Row 4, Charles Sanford, Dylan Jacobs. And then row 5, Jay Jefferson and Phil Parker. Let's get the command to fire engines for the Xfinity 400 at South Carolina.
Drivers, start your engines!
All 40 drivers getting on the racetrack for their one pace lap around here. So yeah, like I brought up just a little bit ago, this is a great racetrack. We see some great racing here. However, if you remember the last time we came here, which was around close to the midway point of the season, there was always that problem, like I said, that off of turn 4, cars that are running 3 wide most likely end up involved in a crash. So we'll see if, like I said, these adjustments that have been done to the racetrack is going to help this problem, or are we going to have a repeat of what we had earlier this season? I don't know, you would think because of how wide the racetrack is, they could go 3 wide without any problems, but I don't know. We'll see what happens as the pace car pulls into pit road. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time to boogity boogity boogity, let's go racing. So that was close at the line, but I think it was Cody Lamas who indeed did lead that first lap, as they are 3 wide for quite a few rows. And like I said, this is one of the big fears I have when we come to this racetrack, especially off turn 4, but yet somehow we were able to get away with some good racing off of turn 4 at 3 wide, several rows deep. But look at Jay Jefferson go on the bottom, trying to work the bottom lane to get to the front, and he's got the lead for now. Oh, but there we go! Just as I was expecting. Oh, and this is going to be a huge crash! Holy cow, a hard wreck, in fact. Numerous cars got caught up in this one. Dylan Poteet, who looked like he took the worst of it. Matt McIntyre was in it. I think I saw Cole Deaver get involved. Joshua Sekuli, who got collected. It looks like James Shelley. I remember Poteet hit Shelley on the way down. Cody Lamas, who led the first lap, he ended up involved. As they raced back to the line, and Jonathan Zorling gets to the race lead as a result. As they are finally slowing down to take the caution. So, ladies and gentlemen, just as I was expecting to see happen, the big one has struck here at South Carolina because of 3 wide off of turn 4. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what brought the caution out for the first time today here at South Carolina. Well, here's a look at what happened. So the problem with the 3 wide here off of 4 is that bottom lane gets tight off the corner and they come up into other cars. And right there you saw DJ Curtis comes up into Trent Dunham and Cole Deaver. And this is what's going to get this whole situation started. And watch Poteet and Sekuli in the 10 and the 31. Both hit incredibly hard into the outside wall as other drivers were caught up in this. James Qualls got a little piece of it. Even Jake Baskinger, second in points, he got a little bit of cosmetic damage out of this. Jessica Sheldon did a phenomenal job missing everything somehow, some way. And then there you see Poteet when he came down into Shelley and getting that portion of the wreck started. There's Lamas, who led the first lap and then just slipped far back after everything. And then Matt McIntyre, who tried to go to the bottom to avoid. He gets hit right there by Cole Deaver, which is going to send him into the inside wall. As a lot of other cars ended up involved. Carson Gum, who I didn't even know got a piece of it, he gets involved. But a lot of cars did a great job to avoid, some not so much. But I think we're actually going to take an onboard shot with Jessica Sheldon. On board with Jessica Sheldon, as you're going to see the wreck happen up ahead and watch how she gets through. Just barely got through without damage. Incredible. Shockingly enough, only 3 cars retired out of the race after that wreck, and they include Matt McIntyre, Joshua Sekuli, and Dylan Poteet. So all 3 of those guys will not be scored points after this race because of finishing in the bottom 5. So we're down to 37 cars on the racetrack. However, probably 30 of those are going to still be up to speed. Jonathan Zorling got the race lead as a result of everything. 2nd, Caleb Kilburn. 3rd, Trent Dunham. 4th, Charles Sanford. 5th, Jay Jefferson. 6th, Chris Dollerton. 7th, Melissa Alexander. 8th, Jessica Sheldon. 9th, Benjamin Miles. 10th, Kyle Matthews. 11th is Logan Bradley. 12th, I don't know why I'm messing up with my numbers. 12th is Dylan Jacobs. 13th, Dylan Young. 14th, Phil Parker. 15th, Carson Gum. 16th, Rob Evans. 17th, Bradley Zorgdrager. 18th, Cole Baker. 19th, Rafael Leduc. 20th, Emmanuel Hartnett. 21st, James McLeod. 22nd, Anthony McCreary. 23rd, Jordan Forbes. 24th, Jake Rogers. 25th, Tim Fiegel. 26th is Michael Norman. 27th, Seth Cole. 28th, Benjamin Miles. 29th, Johnny Gardner. 30th, Joshua Collard. And then the rest of the field, Jake Baskinger, James Shelley, DJ Curtis, James Qualls, Cody Lamas, Cole Deaver, and Joey Parkhill, who actually has no hood. And I didn't even see him get involved in anything. Maybe it was after the caution when it happened and I just didn't see it. But we're back underway with 23 laps to go. Already cars trying to dive to the inside to make moves. Trent Dunham, being the first one to do it, goes up to second and is reeling in Jonathan Zorleen for that lead. Trent moves down to the bottom again. Looks like he's going to get that run entering turn 3 with help from Chris Dollarton. Trent Dunham, who comes into this race 11th in points, trying to look for his second win of the season and possibly last one of his Marvel Studios Cup Series career. Close at the line, but I think, yep, Zorleen still got it by a bumper. Oh, but they're 3 wide again. This is not going to be good when we come off turn 4. But Chris Dollarton right now hangs on to the top spot on the racetrack. Although Melissa Alexander might have something to say about that, as here she comes with a run to the bottom. But can she keep it on the bottom without coming up into other cars? Let's see. This is going to be dangerous here off of turn 4. Let's watch. Oh, and there they go. There they go. I saw Sanford get turned. Phil Parker, actually, I think they saved it except for Phil Parker. Parker was the one who ended up turned, but the caution comes out regardless. But yeah, it looked like a 5-car cluster got involved in that whole thing, as there's still 3 wide up here at the front, but for the lead, Logan Bradley trying to take the lead when they cross the line, but we got to stay up here with this, see if they're going to cause another wreck. Doesn't look like it, so everything's alright, and the caution's out. Logan Bradley takes the race lead. As the field actually ended up slowing down right when they got the caution to come out, so they're going to have a little bit more time to try and catch back up to the rest of the field. But Logan Bradley is your race leader. Let's take a look and see what brought the caution out for the second time today here at South Carolina. Well, here's a look at what happened. I was thinking we were going to get away with it again, but right there it looks like little bit like Caleb Kilburn was like the meat in the sandwich in between Phil Parker and Charles Sanford. And this, as a result, gets Phil Parker sideways and spinning, but luckily for everyone, this was only a 1-car incident, but unfortunately NNSCRA officials decided to bring the caution out when perhaps they could have actually gotten away with keeping it green. However, that did cause a big separation in the field, and that's why NNSCRA officials decided to bring the caution out. But regardless, only a 1-car spin. Phil Parker just got some cosmetic damage on the right side, but will still be able to continue. Let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at South Carolina. No cars retired out of the race after that second caution. The 37 cars that were still on track are still on track. Logan Bradley took the race lead over during the caution, or coming to the caution. Second is Trent Dunham. Third, Jessica Sheldon. Fourth, Jonathan Zorleen. Fifth is Melissa Alexander. Sixth is Chris Dollarton. Seventh, Charles Sanford. 8th, Bradley Zordrager. 9th, Caleb Kilburn. 10th, Jay Jefferson. 11th is Zachary Fitzwater. 12th, Kyle Matthews. 13th, Dylan Jacobs. 14th, Rob Evans. 15th, Jake Rogers. 16th is Dylan Young. 17th, Benjamin Miles. 18th, Emmanuel Hartnett. 19th, Tim Fiegel. 20th is Michael Norman. 21st, Seth Cole. 22nd, James McLeod. 23rd, Anthony McCreary. 24th, Joshua Collard. 25th, Carson Gum. 26th is Johnny Gardner. 27th, Cole Baker. 28th, DJ Curtis. 29th, Jordan Forbes. 30th, Jake Baskinger. 31st, Rafael Leduc. 32nd, James Qualls. 33rd, Cody Lamas. 34th, Joey Parkhill. And then 35th, Cole Deaver. And then 36th is James Shelley, and 37th, Phil Parker. When we cross the line, it will be 16 to go. I am hoping we can get through the rest of the race without any incident, but because of that issue of 3 wide off of turn 4 not working, I got a feeling the wrecking is far from over. But let's see as we're back underway here at South Carolina. Logan Bradley and Trent Dunham both got going very well on that restart. And as a result, 3 wide for the third spot. Luckily off turn 2, 3 wide is welcomed and there's no issue. It's just off of turn 4 I can't figure out why they don't give each other enough room off of turn 4. Nonetheless, Trent Dunham now with a move to the inside to take the lead again from Logan Bradley, and right behind is Melissa Alexander, and I don't see any 3 wide throughout the field, so, well, actually, no, it looks like we're going to be okay for now. Finally, a green flag lap. Trent Dunham hanging on to the race lead for now, as Melissa Alexander actually is now going to take the lead back with help from Chris Dollerton in the 83 car. Chris Dollerton in the 83, who comes into this race 15th in points, lost a couple of spots after their last race, and I think the caution's out again, but this time for an incident in turn 3, which is rather unusual. Seth Cole was in it. Oh, we actually had a multi-car wreck. Seth Cole, Johnny Gardner, Raphael LeDuc was involved, and I think Emmanuel Hartnett got a piece of it as well. So for once, it wasn't a crash off turn 4, it was actually in turn 3 when this happened. Cody Lamas actually has got even more damage. Jordan Forbes was in it. Cole Baker, second in points. Jake Baskinger was in it. Cole Deaver with even more damage on his car. Same with James Shelley. So yeah, another big wreck has happened, but it was in turn 3. Very, very strange. But let's take a look and see what actually brought the caution out for the third time today here at South Carolina. So yeah, this wreck gets started when we go into turn 3. Watch Anthony McCreary. He tries to go to the middle line or even to the inside, but then I don't know what the deal was. He just flat out came up and dumped Emmanuel Hartnett and then down into Seth Cole, and that's how everything gets going here. Seth Cole and Emmanuel Hartnett both go into the outside wall, and I think the real action's going to start when Seth Cole comes back down the racetrack, or he's just staying on the racetrack, as here comes the second group of cars. And yes, Gardner was the first one to hit, and then there's those cars on the inside that got involved. And then when Seth Cole came back up the track, there was Baker, Baskinger, and Forbes who all got in there. So yeah, big accident caused by one car getting into somebody for absolutely no reason right there. Don't know what the deal was between McCreary and Hartnett right there. I don't know if they have had beef from a previous race or not. But with that said, let's take you to the restart here at South Carolina. Well, we got 6 more cars that are out of the race. Actually, no, it is 7. And they include Cole Deaver, Jake Baskinger, Cody Lamas, Jordan Forbes, and Seth Cole, who are going to be lucky and still get points. However, Johnny Gardner and Raphael LeDuc will not get points. And they all join Matt McIntyre, Joshua Sekuli, and Dylan Poteet out of the race. So we're down to 30 cars on track with 10 laps to go when we get to the line. Chris Dollerton is your race leader. Second is Bradley Zordragger. Third is Charles Sanford. Fourth is Rob Evans. Fifth, Melissa Alexander. Sixth is Jake Rogers. Seventh, Benjamin Miles. Eighth, Logan Bradley. Ninth, Trent Dunham. 10th, Michael Norman. 11th, Jonathan Zorline. 12th, James McLeod. 13th, Jessica Shelton. 14th, Caleb Kilburn. 15th, Jay Jefferson. 16th is Kyle Matthews. 17th, Zachary Fitzwater. 18th, Anthony McCreary. 19th, Tim Fiegel. 20th, Joshua Collard. 21st is Dylan Jacobs. 22nd, Dylan Young. 23rd, DJ Curtis. 24th, James Qualls, 25th. Carson Gum, 26th. Phil Parker, 27th. Joey Parkhill, 28th. Cole Baker, 29th. Emmanuel Hartnett, then 30th is James Shelley. As we're back underway, 30 laps to go. Hopefully, and I use that word loosely, hopefully can finish this race off under green. Bradley Zordrager immediately goes for a crossover move to go to the inside and take the lead for himself. Bradley Zordrager, in perhaps his only season in this series, maybe at least for a while, trying to look for his second career win. He won back at Atlanta early in the season, but look at Rob Evans, who's been trying to get his first win of his career and of the season. He's been top 5 in points most of the season, but he has yet to get that win that has long eluded him so far this season. And right now, he has the race lead with 9 laps to go. Meanwhile, Melissa Alexander thought about putting the block on Jake Rogers, but Rogers was right there, and now Rogers gets up to second. Logan Bradley thought about making it 3 wide, but decided against that move. Although now he's going to have no choice but to be 3 wide unless he can get to the bottom in time off of 4. Let's see. Doesn't get to the bottom off of 4, but we're still green. So far, the longest green flag run we've had since the start of the race. Michael Norman now has the race lead, but look who's coming in, trying to get win number 4 of the season in his farewell season, James McLeod. This has been a pretty remarkable season for a few of the farewell drivers. Oh man, I don't think this is going to end very well. There's a couple of 3 wide packs up here at the front. This can't be good. There they go, just as I thought. Oh, and this is a big, big wreck. Huge crash here on the front stretch. Charles Sanford was in it. Jake Rogers was involved. Melissa Alexander gets caught up in it, and there's going to be more piling in. Carson Gum, Dylan Young, Fitzwater was in it. Looks like Baker was in it. Curtis Evans was involved. Kilburn was in it. Numerous cars. Bradley Zordrager stuck. He got involved, and he's stuck in between the track and the apron. He's trying to get the car fired, but he's stuck, so he might end up having to teleport. Same with Tim Fiegel, who was in it somehow. That was perhaps about half of the field collected. Even Logan Bradley got some damage out of that. But James McLeod has the race lead. Let's look and see what brought the caution out for the 4th time here at South Carolina. Well, here's a look at what happens. So, again, another case of just that bottom lane. I don't understand what it is with the bottom lane off of turn 4 that gets tight and comes up into the middle and high line cars, and that's what got this whole thing started. And look at all those cars who went darting into the inside wall. And look at all these cars that ended up getting involved. Even Chris Dollarton was in there, and I didn't even know he was in it. Kyle Matthews was in it. Phil Parker was involved. Jay Jefferson got a piece. About half of the field, and actually maybe more than half the field, got a piece of this, because there was only 8 cars that got through without damage, and it was the top 8. So, yeah, that was... until we can figure out how to solve that problem with the inside line getting tight, we're probably never coming back to this racetrack. So let's go ahead and take you to the restart once again here at South Carolina. Well, it's going to be 3 laps to go when we get to the line. Please let us end under green, please, game. But we got more cars that are out of the race, and they include James Qualls, Melissa Alexander, Carson Gum, Caleb Kilburn, Jake Rogers, and Bradley Zordrager. So we're down to 24 cars on track, 23 on the lead lap. James McLeod is your leader, 2nd Michael Norman, 3rd Trent Dunham, 4th Anthony McCrory, 5th Joshua Collard, 6th DJ Curtis, 7th Jessica Shelton, 8th Jonathan Zorling, 9th Benjamin Miles, 10th Charles Sanford, 11th Jay Jefferson, 12th Rob Evans, 13th Logan Bradley, 14th Kyle Matthews, 15th Chris Dollarton, 16th Phil Parker, 17th Zachary Fitzwater, 18th Dylan Young, 19th James Shelley, 20th Emmanuel Hartnett, and then it's Joey Parkhill, Cole Baker, Dylan Jacobs, and Tim Fiegel, who's 2 laps down. And as the rest of the field, we're back underway. Let's just please end this race under green. Please. Like I said, until we can figure out how to fix that issue with off of turn 4, the inside lane coming up into the middle line, causing the big wrecks, we're probably never coming back to this racetrack again until that problem gets fixed. But anyways, back up here at the front, McLeod leads, but Michael Norman trying to take the lead for himself. Looks like it's going to come down to the top 7 to settle this race out. Norman, Dunham, Collard, Miles, McLeod, McCrory, and Shelton are going to be the ones to settle this out because Zorline and the cars on back behind are either damaged or just got held up. Side by side for the lead, Trent Dunham, Michael Norman with less than 2 to go. As we had a couple of lines trying to form up here at the front, but look at Joshua Collard by himself trying to make it 3 wide, but I feel like this is going to bite them in the rear end, especially off turn 4. Let's see what happens here, as Michael Norman would be the guy in the catbird seat. Trent Dunham, holy cow, a hard crash. Caution is out, but the white flag came out before they got to the line, so they're going to race it to the end. As the track got blocked, that was a hard wreck for Collard and Dunham. But it doesn't matter. It's going to come down to the top 4 to battle this out as they're going to race it to the line. Look at Benjamin Miles go, putting the block on McLeod, and is going to get the run underneath Norman. Benjamin Miles, I believe this would be his 2nd win of the season. No, it would be his 1st. Coming to the checkered flag and the caution, Benjamin Miles wins the Xfinity 400 at South Carolina. Even after a vicious crash coming to the white flag, we still somehow managed to end this race without we still managed to finish this race without them slowing down at the line, I should say. But man, more cars ended up involved after everything that occurred between Collard and Dunham right there, as they hit unbelievably hard into the inside wall. But yet somehow Trent Dunham kept it going. I have no idea how that was possible, but let's take a look at the final results. James McLeod was close to getting his 4th win of the season, but still great run in 2nd regardless. Michael Norman, solid performance, highest finishing rookie in 3rd. Jessica Shelton tried to win here for the first time, but comes through with 4th. And then Anthony McCrory rounding out the top 5. Trent Dunham, despite hitting unbelievably hard at the end of that race, somehow finishes in the 6th position. Jay Jefferson with a great run in 7th, even though he was damaged. Phil Parker in 8th. Dylan Young with a solid run in 9th, despite being in the back all day. And then great comeback run for Emmanuel Hartnett in 10th. And then there's the rest of your top 20, your top 30, and then the bottom 5 were Johnny Gardner, Rafael LeDuc, Matt McIntyre, Joshua Sekuli, and Dylan Poteet. So like I said, until we can get that problem fixed with that bottom line off of turn 4, we're not coming back to this racetrack again. So Benjamin Miles might as well have won the farewell race here at South Carolina Speedway. So congrats to him, as he's going to take a victory lap. But anyways, let's actually show you the final results, rookie points and regular points, heading into the next race, which will be at Bermuda. And this is Levi McIntyre signing off.